quite an incredible honor to get to speak to you this Sunday. As I started thinking about what I wanted to say, I realized how much of the direction of my own life was grounded here in this congregation. The story in my family goes that around 40 years ago, my parents came to this church as visitors, and they were invited to some newcomers' dinner. They found themselves seated next to the minister and thought, ooh, this is going to be fun. But John Wolfe pulled out a bottle of wine and turned out to be a very fun and very regular guy. They were sold. So 40 some odd years later, as a Unitarian minister myself, I have to say thank you, John, for being a fun, regular person who could enjoy a glass of wine even with some very skeptical church shoppers. It sounds dramatic, but honestly, it's hard to imagine what my life would look like without this congregation. And a big part of that experience was the children's and youth choir. I sang literally as long as I could, from the first grade until I graduated from high school. It was a lot of work, but it was also fun. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. But by the time I finished high school, my closest friends were some other choir members and youth group members, and it always felt funny talking about hanging out with my church friends, but that was who I hung out with. Yesterday, as the alumni gathered here, we had a 3-hour rehearsal. For most of us, the only strange thing about that time together in the choir room was how totally natural it was. Another one of the choir members summarized it beautifully on Facebook yesterday afternoon. She wrote, "It's amazing how something you haven't done in 15 years can so quickly feel like home." It was home. As youth, we had a pretty deep connection with each other and to this place. I don't think we realized it at the time, but a part of that connection was our shared values and our sense of mutual respect and a serious appreciation for diversity. Traveling all around the country on these trips that you heard about a little bit exposed us to other Unitarian churches. And All Souls, as you know, is a behemoth. It's a giant congregation. And it kind of gets sucked into itself and can forget that there's this whole Unitarian Universalist world outside of these walls. But we got to see that traveling around in the choir. As someone who has served a few of those churches as a minister, I think that's part of what I want you all to hear. What you have here at All Souls is special. Your music program, your religious education, your justice ministries. In so many ways, you lead literally hundreds of other smaller churches across this country. I have colleagues in California, other ministers, who live stream the worship service here as they're getting ready to lead their own worship service. And you should know, and clergy family can speak to this, Sunday morning before worship for ministers is not time to mess around or fill the air with dead noise. It's serious preparation time. My colleagues in California are spending that important time centering themselves, listening to what is happening in this room. You also lead the way for other congregations because you stay relevant and you hold a strong vision for the future. And I love being here to celebrate the heritage of All Souls. I sang on this chancel for a very long time. My name, I think, is in one of those hymnals, and I was dedicated here by John Wolfe as an infant. All Souls is my home today, though, because it's still striving to be a better church, to make a better world, and to transform all of us along the way. Celebrating the past is great, but what makes this celebration so much sweeter is knowing deep in my heart that we're just getting started. All Souls continues to broaden the horizon of what church and community look like. It's been a long journey, and I look forward to where it takes us all. Amen.
We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
We are your church, and we are proud to be your church, or at least a church that's having a positive impact on your life. I am personally blessed to be your minister, or at least a minister who you're allowing to speak into your life. I hope you'll support our ministry and share your love beyond belief by texting LOVEBB to 41444 or go to our website. But you can just text LOVEBB to 41444 and make your gift. It's wonderful. Thank you. Be blessed and be a blessing.